So it doesn't look completely strange.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Hey, dudes.
This is not going to be like the normal setup or anything. We are house sitting, but because I don't want to show too much of their house, I'm just going to do it in front of their couch. In case you didn't know, I'm in Missouri. Most of my subscriber base right now is in Missouri as well, because it's mainly my mom and her friends. You see, it is said that at one time there was a hermit who lived up on a hill, avoiding the rest of the town as much as possible. In fact, he had a slave who would run errands he had in town. This had to have been like a really long time ago. Anyway, the slave was well liked by the townspeople, so when he went missing they became concerned, especially when the hermit came into town to do his own errands. Some of the locals asked him about the slave, but he simply scowled and stormed off, triggering a rumor that he had murdered the young man. A few days later, there was a terrible storm, and a witness saw a lantern moving up the hill just before lightning struck. The following day, the hermit's face was discovered on the hill, his face frozen in terror. To this day, people still see a light from a lantern bobbing up and down on the hillside on stormy nights. I have never heard that until I looked up this website, and I tried looking into it a little bit more, and I definitely didn't find anything about it. So if you have ever seen it, let me know. I've never been to the farm, but I do pass by the field often. Or when you're going to like Watkins Mill, you pass by Jesse James' farm, but I've never been there. Almost everyone has heard of Jesse James, so it will be no surprise that the Jesse James farm has been the scene of a great deal of heartache and violence. This has led to the farm becoming one of the most haunted places in Missouri. The farm is open for public tours where visitors learn how Frank and Jesse James were raised there, and how Jesse was beaten and almost hung by Union soldiers searching for his brother Frank. His half-brother was also killed on the farm by a bomb thrown by guards searching for Jesse and Frank. Jesse was actually buried on the farm following his death, and his mother would charge visitors to come to his grave and take pebbles from it. I would hate to have his mom as my mom. Like, that's just asking for a haunting. However, his earthly remains were later relocated to Mount Olive Cemetery. That certainly hasn't stopped the hauntings. People have reported hearing horse hooves, gunshots, and even disembodied voices and whispers around the farm. Yeah, I haven't heard any of that. But like I said, I haven't been to the farm itself, and I definitely haven't been there at night. Probably wouldn't go at night. The Jefferson Barracks in St. Louis have been active military site since 1826. Given its age and the fact that it adjoins the National Cemetery, it is no surprise that this land is said to be haunted. The cemetery apparently has a little child ghost who wanders aimlessly along the headstones. There are also two ghosts who appear at sundown and acknowledge each other before vanishing again. One is said to be in clothing of a Confederate soldier, while the other is wearing the uniform of a Buffalo soldier, more specifically the Black Troop. Alright, just so you know, I have no idea anything about history, so like, this doesn't help me. In the barracks themselves, it seems to be post headquarters where the paranormal activity is centered. One local soldier spotted a light coming on in one of the rooms at night and went over to the window to check it out. When he looked inside, he saw a military officer in the 19th century dress, sitting at a desk writing by candlelight. Then he stood up and vanished. Okay. the candle vanish too? Ravenswood is a grand mansion that was built in 1880 by Nadine and Charles Leonard. The Leonards were a couple who loved nothing more than entertaining. They would often string lanterns through the trees, hire an orchestra, and invite all of their friends to dance the night away. I need friends like that. Oh, I need friends in general, but like that too. Nadine remained in her beloved home until she died at age 90, and it seemed that perhaps her spirit has never left. A family servant tried to enter Nadine's bedroom after her death to collect some clothing, only to find the door locked from inside. It was agreed that the lock would have to be broken, but by the time the servant returned with the required tools, the door was open. Christmas ornaments are often thrown down the stairs. A broken music box randomly plays music despite not having worked for years, and some visitors say they can hear music and laughter from the lawns, reminiscent of Nadine's lavishing parties. And I have looked into this, and apparently you can have a wedding there. Like, apparently it's open for guests and they have weddings there. I don't know about you, but if Christmas ornaments get thrown and, like, no, I don't, I wouldn't want anything to do with that place. It is beautiful though. The governor's mansion has been home to Missouri governors since 1872, with Thomas Crittenden and his family among the first to live there. His beloved daughter Caroline was born there in 1873, but sadly died aged 10 after contracting diphtheria? Governor Crittenden they spell his name different twice. Okay, anyway. Never really was the same after her death. If we fast forward around the century, that is when the first paranormal reports start coming in. A restoration project was underway at the mansion, and one workman was up in the attic. He came downstairs and asked the housekeeper who the little girl was that had been playing up there while he worked. The housekeeper said that nobody was in the house but him. Upon realizing that his companion was a ghost, he refused to return to the mansion. Well, I would too, but if she was playing and being nice and you didn't even know she was a ghost, I don't know that I'd be like too afraid to return. I might go back and keep her some company. Deston Hall in Boonville holds the distinction of being the oldest operating theater west of the Appalachians. It was built in 1857 and has served as a theater, a dance hall, a library, a movie theater, a stable, a skating rink, a church, and even a Civil War hospital. It is no wonder the building is said to be haunted. My thoughts exactly. To live in Missouri, I apparently don't know a whole lot about Missouri.